At exactly 2:17 a.m., the heart monitor in room 613 flatlined, then started beeping again on its own. No nurse was inside the room. No doctor was on the floor. And the patient had been pronounced dead 43 minutes earlier. Security cameras at St. Mary's Memorial Hospital in rural Illinois caught something else instead. A woman in an old-fashioned nurse's uniform standing beside the bed, her face blurred, her shadow stretching the wrong way across the wall. When the cameras glitched back to normal, the body was sitting upright, screaming. That was the night I stopped believing hospital ghost stories were just stories. My name is Ethan Cole, and I work the night shift as a respiratory therapist. Night shifts in American hospitals are quiet in a way that makes your skin crawl, too silent, like the building is holding its breath. The halls smell of antiseptic and old sadness, and the lights hum like tired insects. You learn quickly that at night, hospitals feel alive. But nothing prepared me for her. Everyone who worked nights knew the legend. They called her the nurse in white. New hires laughed it off, but veterans never did. They spoke in low voices near the vending machines, eyes darting down empty corridors. They said she only appeared between 2 o'clock and 3 a.m. They said she helped patients, right before something terrible happened. And they said if she ever looked directly at you, your shift would end in blood. I didn't believe any of it, until my third week. It started with small things. Call lights going off in empty rooms. Wheelchairs rolling by themselves. Patient charts updated with handwriting no one recognized, beautiful, looping cursive that looked decades old. Then came the whispers. One night, while checking oxygen levels in ICU, I heard a soft female voice behind me. He shouldn't be alone. I turned fast. No one was there. The hallway was empty, lights flickering faintly. When I checked the patient's room again, his blanket was tucked tighter than before, and his pulse was suddenly unstable. He coded 10 minutes later. Over the next few nights, the pattern repeated. Whenever the nurse in white appeared, death followed, but not always immediately. Sometimes patients recovered, briefly. Long enough to say goodbye. Long enough to scream. I finally saw her clearly on a stormy Thursday night. Rain slammed against the windows, thunder shaking the old building. At 2:12 a.m., every monitor on the floor flickered at once. That's when I saw her at the end of the hallway. She stood perfectly still. She wore a 1950s-style nurse uniform, long white dress, cap pinned neatly to dark hair. Her shoes never touched the floor. Her face was pale, too pale, and her eyes were hollow, like burned-out stars. She turned and glided into room 613. My legs moved before my brain could stop them. Inside the room, the temperature dropped instantly. Frost crept along the bedrails. The patient, a middle-aged man admitted after a car crash, was wide awake, eyes bulging in terror. She says it's time, he whispered. The nurse leaned close to him and smiled. I'll never forget that smile. It wasn't cruel. It was gentle, loving. Worse than hatred. Not yet, I shouted. She slowly turned her head toward me. That's when I felt it. The crushing weight in my chest, like invisible hands squeezing my lungs. Her eyes locked onto mine, and suddenly I wasn't in the hospital anymore. I was standing in the same building, but decades earlier. The walls were newer. The lights warmer. Sirens wailed outside. A fire. Patients screamed as flames consumed the east wing. Smoke filled the halls. And there she was, running room to room, dragging patients, coughing, burning. "No time," she cried. "I won't leave you." A beam collapsed. The ceiling caved in. And she never made it out. The vision snapped back. I collapsed to my knees, gasping. The nurse was gone. The patient was gone too. Bed empty, sheets cold. Later, records confirmed it. 1956. A nurse named Eleanor White died saving patients during a hospital fire. Her body was never recovered. After that night, I tried to quit. HR laughed it off. Stress, they said. Overtime hallucinations. But Eleanor wasn't done with me. She followed me. At home, I heard her voice in my apartment hallway. In the mirror, I saw her standing behind me for a split second. Every night at 2:17 a.m., my phone alarm went off, an alarm I never set. Then came the message on my voicemail. "He needs you." The next shift, a child was admitted after a highway accident. Critical condition. Doctors worked frantically, but by 2:10 a.m., they were losing him. I felt her presence before I saw her. She stood beside the bed, hands folded, watching the boy with unbearable sadness. "Please," I whispered. "Not him." She looked at me, and for the first time, her eyes filled with tears. "I don't choose," she said. "I prepare." At 2:17 a.m., the power went out. In the darkness, I performed CPR guided by her voice. "Now," she said. Again. When the lights came back, the boy was breathing. Alive. The nurse smiled, then faded like fog in sunlight. I thought it was over. 2 weeks later, I was driving home after my final night shift. Exhausted. Rain-soaked highway. A semi-truck swerved. Metal screamed. As my car spun, everything slowed. And there she was, sitting calmly in the passenger seat. "You did well," she said softly. As darkness closed in, I realized the truth. The mysterious night shift haunted nurse doesn't bring death. She walks with it. And now, every night at 2:17 a.m., a new nurse starts her shift at St. Mary's Memorial. Me.